The following program is a production of HEW Entertainment and contains views, opinions, commentaries, and content that may offend some subscribers of this show. Listener discretion is advised.
It's that time once again for HEW Entertainment Radio.
And that's all I got to say about that.
Hosted by Jonathan Clarke.
You beat the man! You gotta beat the man! Woo!
Be sure to join us in the live chat room during the show.
Hulkamania is running wild like it's never ran before.
Call us on one of our request lines. If you live in the United States, call us at 1-641-985-7800, box number 3729288. If you're from Canada and would like to call us from 1-647-724-4194, box number 3729288. Long distance charges may apply in some areas.
I've been the World Heavyweight Champion 10 times.
Or you can always drop us a line at MySpace, myspace.com/HEW Entertainment.
And you will rest in peace.
Emailing us works for you too. Email us hewwrestling@hotmail.com.
I am a wrestling god. JBL.
And now, without any further ado, here is your host of HEW Entertainment Radio on the official website of HEW Entertainment, Jonathan Clarke.
The champ is here!
Streaming live on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. HEW Entertainment Radio is inviting you to comment on our video blogs, join the conversation, and like us. So what are you waiting for? Log on and listen now. Don't miss out on any of the action. Download our app on the App Store, Google Play, and the official website of HEW Entertainment. Once you download and install it, you'll get caught up on news, YouTube videos, and more. Download it now.
You've got to be extremely frustrated if you're Sting, having lost 4 months of action over 100 days and having a neck injury which has sidelined you for so long, and so many fans wondering when you're going to be returning to World Wrestling Entertainment for that one career-defining moment, which I really thought that he was going to have at the Night of Champions pay-per-view. Let me throw you back to last September. That incredible match he had with Seth Rollins really put Sting over in a way that Sting has never been put over before, and it was really one of the best matches we've seen Sting had in a really long time. If you're talking about TNA Wrestling, World Championship Wrestling, his match with Triple H even earlier last year at WrestleMania 31. That was an incredible match, and Sting and Seth Rollins had an awesome exchange in that match, which is why I think a sequel is something we really need to get to when you're talking about Sting versus Seth Rollins. My hats off to both individuals for that incredible match. Now, when the follow of the match, obviously the highlight of it was the neck injury for Sting. Obviously, the neck injury was not as serious as what people thought it was, because so many people were saying that Sting's career was over because of the neck injury, and obviously now Sting's return is thought of what's going to be happening because of how this neck injury was not as serious as what it was. But if you're Sting, you've got to be really frustrated about how you've been treated. And I can't blame Sting for almost tearing up his contract hours before WrestleMania 31 last year in front of Vince McMahon, because you signed a Legends contract to have a career-defining moment, obviously, in WWE, which you have not had. You've lost at every major pay-per-view against Triple H and Seth Rollins, and obviously what's happening here is WWE is playing favorites with some of their favorite wrestlers, either Seth Rollins, Randy Orton, Batista, whoever you're talking about, The Rock even factors in there. They're obviously playing favorites with their favorite wrestlers and people who have been loyal to World Wrestling Entertainment for years, and because Sting has been loyal to other wrestling promotions outside of World Wrestling Entertainment, never has worked for WWE, and has claimed on sites like YouTube and shoot videos that he would never work for Vince McMahon. Obviously that has a lot to do with how Sting has never won one over on World Wrestling Entertainment. Now Vince McMahon is not going to let WCW win one over WWE after 14 years of Sting having stayed away. Obviously you had your reasons. You're letting bygones be bygones. You're letting the past stay in the past. You're putting it all behind you. You've come to WWE performing on the biggest stage you can possibly perform on. You've headlined WrestleMania against Triple H, so obviously you think you're in line for a reward for everything you've done. And if you're Sting, you've obviously got to be extremely frustrated and pissed off over how you've been treated. And that's why this neck injury is letting Sting have some time off to recuperate and really allow to, relieve himself of frustrations that he's had with Vince McMahon, Triple H, whoever he's had a grudge with in World Wrestling Entertainment for years. There have been a lot of feuds suggested for Sting if he does return sometime throughout 2016, which is an early prediction to be made by me about when Sting will return sometime throughout 2016. How about Sting versus Kane, or Sting versus Randy Orton, or Sting versus Brock Lesnar, or Roman Reigns? There are a lot of feuds that Sting has been suggested to be involved in, and I would love to see Sting work against virtually everyone in World Wrestling Entertainment in some of those feuds that have been suggested. But if there was one match that I really want to see Sting have, it is against the fucking Undertaker, because we waited years to see Sting versus the Undertaker. And just think about the psychology we would see in this match. It would be a lot of psychology looked at in this match. There would be a great storyline to go along with the match, and it could be the match that retires the Undertaker and possibly even Sting, probably both of these legends. They're probably waiting to get to that point in their career. But we need to see Sting versus the fucking Undertaker, because so many wrestling fans, much like myself, have a desire to want to see this match. It is the dream matches of dream matches that hasn't happened yet outside of every other dream match that has happened. And I think with the way WWE are going, we'd probably see CM Punk versus Stone Cold Steve Austin ever before we would see Sting versus The Undertaker. But I think with how Sting has had a desire to want to wrestle The Undertaker for years, and The Undertaker's had a desire to want to wrestle him, this is a match that really needs to happen. With how they remain loyal to their respective companies, The Undertaker for WWE, Sting for World Championship Wrestling. So let's get something going in the way of creativity. Let's get those creative juices flowing. And if anything needs to happen for Sting and The Undertaker, it's Sting versus The Undertaker in that career-defining match, that career-defining moment for Sting. May come at the expense of The Undertaker, but I mean, really, this match needs to happen for both of these individuals before they get to the point of retiring. After over 25 years for both wrestlers, a total of over 50 plus years in professional wrestling, this needs to happen. Sting's been gone for 4 months, over 100 days. Let's bring him back, and bring him back in a really big way, because you couldn't bring him back in a bigger way than having him in a match with The Undertaker out of all these dream matches and opponents that have been suggested for Sting in his absence. I am predicting in 2016 we will see Sting return. I have been a really big fan of Sting for forever, and maybe that has a lot to do with my early prediction of Sting returning in 2016. For me, I go all the way back to World Championship Wrestling when he was feuding with Diamond Dallas Page, Goldberg, Hulk Hogan, the Giant. So many career-defining moments for Sting. I also remember
Seeing Sting win his first World Championship from Ric Flair at the Great American Bash back in 1990. That was Sting's first World Championship, and he went on to win several others throughout his career. I mean, his career is so colorful and so decorated. Obviously, one of the more decorated and celebrated careers and lives that we've seen in professional wrestling. A DVD documentary does no justice for Sting because he's had so many career-defining moments. How can you jam all these career-defining moments into one DVD or Blu-ray? You just can't. And obviously, WWE are going to be releasing a Sting DVD and Blu-ray, which will take a look at most of Sting's career-defining moments. But even then, you can't really jam all of Sting's career-defining moments into one release. You have to release it over several because Sting has had so many unbelievable moments. But for me, all the unbelievable moments that I can remember as a teenager obviously was from World Championship Wrestling, watching Nitro, watching Sting wrestle against the likes of Diamond Dallas Page, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall. I remember that match he had with Scott Hall at Uncensored back in 1998, 1999. The many matches he had with Hulk Hogan in World Championship Wrestling, the Giant, Ric Flair. Obviously, Ric Flair, Scott Hall,